Saraswati Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyava Satyadeshatarine Panchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasade Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we continue reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 2, text 26. Atha chenam nityajatam
Atha chetam nityajatam
nityam va manyase mritam
nityam va manyase mritam
tathapi tvam mahabaho
tathapi tvam mahabaho
nainam shochitum arhasi.
nainam shochitam arhasi.
Can someone read?
I can read.
Yeah, please.
Translation. If, however, you think that the soul or the symptoms of life will always be born and die forever, you still have no reason to lament, O mighty armed. Purport. There's always a class of philosophers, almost akin to the Buddhists, who do not believe in the separate existence of the soul beyond the body. When Lord Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita, it appears that such philosophers existed, and they were known as the Lokayatikas and Vaibhasikas. Such philosophers maintain that life symptoms take place at a certain mature condition of material combination. The modern material scientist and materialist philosophers also think similarly. According to them, the body is a combination of physical elements, and at a certain age, the life symptoms develop by interaction of the physical and chemical elements. The science of anthropology is based on this philosophy. Currently, many pseudo religions, now becoming fashionable in America, are also adhering to this philosophy, as are the nihilistic, non devotional Buddhist sect. Even if Arjuna did not believe in the existence of the soul, as in the Vaibhashika philosophy, there would still have been no cause for lamentation. No one laments the loss of a certain bulk of chemicals and stops discharging his prescribed duty. On the other hand, in modern science and scientific warfare, so many tons of chemicals are wasted for achieving victory over the enemy. According to the Vaibhasika philosophy, the so called soul or Atma vanishes along with the deterioration of the body. So, in any case, whether Arjuna accepted the Vedic conclusion that there is an atomic soul or he did not believe in the existence of the soul, he had no reason to lament. According to this theory, since there are so many living entities generating out of matter every moment, and so many of them are being vanquished every moment, there is no need to grieve for such incidents. If there were no rebirth for the soul, Arjuna had no reason to be afraid of being affected by sinful reactions due to his killing of his grandfather and teacher. But at the same time, Krishna sarcastically addressed Arjuna as Mahabahu, mighty armed, because he at least did not accept the theory of the Vaibhasikas, which leaves aside the Vedic wisdom. As a Kshatriya, Arjuna belonged to the Vedic culture and it behooved him to continue to follow its principles.
So Krishna is telling Arjuna that why are you lamenting for your grandfather and your teacher? That if you're thinking that there is a soul, then soul anyway you can't kill it. He was saying you can't cut it, you can't dry it, you can't burn it. The soul is going to take up another body, and in fact, these people are old, so they'll receive a new body, fresh body, and they'll go to the heavenly planets, so they'll get better chance of enjoyment. And then Krishna is saying to Arjuna, and if you believe that there's no existence of the soul, that life comes from matter. Now we are being taught this in schools and universities, that life comes from matter, just some combination of chemicals at a certain temperature at a certain time, and yeah, living entity is born. So Krishna said, if you believe this theory also, then why you are worried? Oh, the soul is anyway gonna die. It's just some combination of chemicals. And like this, there's so much combinations happening every time, every moment living entities are being born and dead. It's just chemicals. Why are you lamenting for that anyways? Of course, it's not a true theory, but it's just many people think that. It's not true. Life can never come from matter. Do we have experience that um, we cannot even make a seed in the laboratory, a tiny seed, you know? What do you think? Can life come from matter?
No, no.
Thank you. Yeah, life cannot. It's not just a combination of chemicals. The soul is there, and the soul is put here in the material world by Krishna. So anyway, Krishna is just trying to make Arjuna come to the point that give up your lamentation. Yatasya hi dhruvo mrityor
या जाति से ही ध्रुव मृत्युर
dhruvam janma mritasya cha
ध्रुवं जन्मामृतस्य च
tasmat apariharye arthe
तस्माद् अपरिहार्यते
na tvam shochitam arhasi.
न त्वं सूचितुम् अर्हसि. Translation: one who has taken his birth is sure to die, and after death one is sure to take birth again. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. Purport: one has to take birth according to one's activities of life, and after finishing one term of activities, one has to die to take birth for the next. In this way, one is going through the cycle of birth and death after another without liberation. This cycle of birth and death does not, however, support unnecessary murder, slaughter, and war, but at the same time, violence and war are inevitable factors in human society for keeping law and order. The Battle of Kurukshetra, being the will of the Supreme, was an inevitable event, and to fight for the right cause is the duty of a Kshatriya. Why should he be afraid or of or aggrieved at the death of his relative, since he was discharging his proper duty? He did not deserve to break the law, thereby becoming subjected to the reactions of sinful acts of which he was so afraid. By avoiding the discharge of his proper duty, he would not be able to stop the death of his relative, and he would be degraded due to his selection of the wrong path of action.
So then now again Krishna is saying, oh, it's a law of nature. We take birth, we have to die, cannot permanently live in the body. And then the soul is for sure going to take birth again. It cannot be not take birth again. Our next body, we have to take another body. It could be a material body or it could be a spiritual body. The choice is ours. Which body do we want to take in the next birth? And then based on that, what activities we need to do. But for sure we have to give up this body. So Krishna is saying, for sure your relatives have to give up their bodies. But you do your duty. You're a Kshatriya. It's your duty to fight. So then, of course, Prabhupada is pointing out not that we commit unnecessary murder based on this principle that, oh, anyway, the soul can never be killed, and anyway, the soul is going to take up another body. So let me kill someone. No, cannot. We can never do that. We are not givers of life. So how can we take someone's life? Hmm? But yeah, of course, if it's like a protection for the country, all that, that's a different thing. This is what now Arjuna has to do. He's doing his duty against the aggressors. The Kauravas were aggressors. So anyway, Krishna is saying you do your duty. Otherwise, in fact, you will get sinful reactions. You are saying you will get sinful reactions if you kill your uh, family. But try to understand this is not ordinary killing. You are a Kshatriya, it's your duty to kill them because they are aggressors. So, in fact, you don't get sinful reactions. This is what Krishna is telling you, that you do your duty. Avyaktada, no, avyaktadini bhutani,
Avyaktadini bhutani
vyakta madhyani bharata,
vyakta madhyani bharata
avyakta nidhanani eva,
avyakta nidhanani eva
tatra ka paridevana.
tatra ka paridevana. Translation: all created beings are unmanifest in their beginning, manifest in their interim state, and unmanifest again when annihilated. So, what need is there for lamentation? Accepting that there are two classes of philosophers, one believing in the existence of the soul and the other not believing in the existence of the soul. There is no cause for lamentation in either case. Non believers in the existence of the soul are called atheists by followers of the Vedic wisdom. Yet, even if for argument's sake we accept this atheistic theory, there is still no cause for lamentation. Apart from the separate existence of the soul, the material elements remain unmanifested before creation. From this subtle state of non manifestation comes manifestation. Just as from ether air is generated, from air fire is generated, from fire water is generated, and from water earth becomes manifested. From the earth, many varieties of manifestations take place. Take, for example, a big skyscraper manifested from the earth. When it is dismantled, the manifestation becomes again unmanifested and remains as atoms in the ultimate stage. The law of conservation of energy remains. But in course of time, things are manifested and unmanifested. That is the difference. Then what cause is there for lamentation either in the stage of manifestation or unmanifestation? Somehow or other, even in the unmanifested stage, things are not lost. Things are not lost. Both at the beginning and at the end, all elements remain unmanifested, and only in the middle are they manifested. And this does not make any material difference. And if we accept the Vedic conclusion as stated in the Bhagavad Gita that these material bodies are perishable in due course of time, anta vantat ime deha, but that the soul is eternal, nitya sokta saririna, then we must remember always that the body is like a dress. Therefore, why the lament the changing of a dress? The material body has no factual existence in relation to the eternal soul. It is something like a dream. In a dream, we may think of flying in the sky or sitting on a chariot as a king, but when we wake up, we can see that we are neither in the sky nor seated on a chariot. The Vedic wisdom encourages self realization on the basis of non existence of the material body. Therefore, in either case, whether one believes in the existence of soul or one does not believe in the existence of the soul, there is no cause of lamentation for the loss of the body.
So Krishna is again continuing with the same thing. He's saying if you think that the body is just a combination of matter, well, the body, yeah, but that there is no soul, that this person is there just because of a combination of chemicals, well, then the chemicals always exist. We heard in Bhagavatam at the creation how the elements always exist. Then at a particular time, the modes of material nature they get agitated, and then gradually, how the elements become manifest. There's first the sound is there, then from sound comes ether, and then ether again with the interaction of the modes. Then we get air. And then again, with the interaction of modes, we get fire. Again, then we get water. Then we get earth. And each gets more quality. Ether, the quality is only sound. But in air, there is a quality of sound and touch. And then fire, there is quality of sound, touch, and form. We can see the fire. So the form is also there. And then comes water. So water, not only can we hear it or we can see it or we can touch it, but we can taste it. So then comes taste. And then with earth, earth is the most gross. So not only can we see it, we can touch it, we can um, taste it, and then we can hear it, and we can also smell it. There's smell also in earth. So Krishna is saying, if you think that this living entity, that every person is just a combination of these elements, then anyway, creation, before the creation, these elements exist in unmanifest state. Can't see them, but they are there. Then they are manifest for some times, means we can see them for some time. And then again, in due course of time, we can't see them, but they exist. Even the scientists say that the total energy is not lost, It just changes one form to another. Say all the building materials. There's the glass, the iron, the bricks, the cement, whatever is needed for the building. Those elements exist. So the builder, he collects all these things, puts them together and makes a building. And then when the building is destroyed, those elements still exist. Only they're not in the form of the building, they're just in separated form. But the elements are never lost. So Krishna is saying that, oh, if you think the living entity is like this, why you worried? The chemicals are always going to exist. The material elements will always exist. So why do you want to lament? And then he's saying, if you understand that according to the Vedas, that a person is actually the soul. That's the soul. That the material body has no factual existence in relation to the soul. It is something like a dream. So, what is the dream? Is it that I'm dreaming that I'm inside the body? No, we are very much inside the body. But the dream is we are thinking we are the body. We are thinking, we have forgotten we are the soul. And we are thinking, oh, I'm this body, this is my name, this is my activity, this is mine, that is mine. So that is our dream, thinking that we are the body. So Krishna is saying, so, okay, if you accept that we are the soul, again, why you're lamenting? Because anyway, the soul cannot live in the body eternally. The soul has to give up the body. So give up the lamentation. Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidena.
Uh, Sorry, I didn't understand. Sorry, can you repeat it, Bobby? I couldn't hear you before.
Sure. Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidena.
Ascharyavat pashyati kashit enam.
Ascharyavat vattati tathaiva chanya.
Ascharyavat vadita tathaiva kanyam.
Ascharyavat chenam anyashanoti.
Ascharyavat chainam anya shrinoti.
Shrutvapi vedana cheva kaschit.
Shritvapi enam vedana cha vakaschit. Yeah, right.
The translation.
Yeah. Yeah, just a Sorry, just a second.
Mm.
Yeah. Some look on the soul as amazing, describe him as amazing, and some hear of him as amazing, while others, even after hearing about him, cannot understand him at all. Purport. Since Gita Upanishad is largely based on the principles of the Upanishad, it is not surprising to also find this passage in the Katha Upanishad. Travan Sravannapayapi bahubir yo na labhya Trvanto vibhava yam na vidyo आश्चर्य को वक्ता कुसालो श्या लब्धा आश्चर्योच्चारणता कुसाल नुसिस्ता. The fact that the atomic soul is within the body of a gigantic animal, in the body of a gigantic banyan tree, and also in the microbic germs, millions and billions of which occupy only an inch of space, is certainly very amazing. Men with a poor fund of knowledge and men who are not or cannot understand the wonders of the individual atomic spark or spirit, even though it is explained by the greatest authority of knowledge, who imparted lessons even to Brahma, the first living being in the universe. Owing to a gross material conception of things, most men in this age cannot imagine how such a small particle can become both so great and so small. So men look at the soul proper as wonderful either by constitution or by description. Illusioned by the material energy, people are so engrossed in subject matters for sense gratification that they have very little time to understand the question of self understanding, even though it is a fact that without this self understanding, all activities result in ultimate defeat in the struggle for existence. Perhaps they have no idea that one must think of the soul and thus make a solution to the material miseries. Some people who are inclined to hear about the soul may be attending lectures in good association, but sometimes, owing to their ignorance, they are misguided by acceptance of the super soul and the atomic soul as one without distinction of magnitude. It is very difficult to find a man who perfectly understands the position of the super soul, the atomic soul, their respective functions and relationships, and all other major and the minor details, and is still more difficult to find a man who has actually derived full benefits from knowledge of the soul and who is able to describe the position of the soul in different aspects. But if somehow or other one is able to understand the subject matter of the soul, then one's life is successful. The easiest process for understanding the subject matter of self, however, is to accept the statements of the Bhagavad Gita spoken by the greatest authority, Lord Krishna, without being deviated by the other theories. But it also requires a great deal of penance and sacrifice, either in this life or in the previous one, before one is able to accept Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna can, however, be known as such by the causeless mercy of the pure devotee and by no other way.
So then here Krishna is saying, someone may know about the soul or not know, but think the soul is amazing, hear about him and say it's amazing, and describe him as amazing. Well, someone may not even understand what the soul is. It's true because there are so many philosophies going around. But you know, what is it? Because it's true, it's baffling to all of us. Oh, what is the soul? Where does it come from? So here Prabhupada is putting the point that a soul is inside the body of an ant, also body inside the body of an elephant. The soul, the size of the soul is same, 1/10,000 the portion of the hair. Right? What's the size of the soul?
1/10,000 of the tip of the hair.
Tip of the head, that's right. Thank you. So this same, such a tiny part, soul, is also in the body of an elephant, and it's making such a big body of the elephant move. And it's also in the body of the ant, which is so tiny, and it's making the body of the ant move. So isn't it amazing? But well, it's because the quality of the soul. The soul is Satchidananda. So it can occupy any material body and then make any material body move. So also what happens is some might think that the soul and the Jivatma and the Paramatma is same. That, okay, yes, in our heart there is the one soul only. Jivatma, Paramatma, same. No, what is same is the quality. Yeah, quality is same. Sachidananda. But quantity, no. Paramatma is in everyone's heart. We are not in everyone's heart. We are just in our heart. So the size is completely different. So this is what Prabhupada is trying to explain to us. That even though someone may understand that there is a soul, again, the misconception may be that the Jivatma and Paramatma is the same, but we have to understand, no, Paramatma, Jivatma, completely different. So then Prabhupada points out, so it's very difficult to come to understand Krishna and to understand the soul and understand the position of the super soul. But by the mercy of the devotee, becomes easy. Because the devotee, the pure devotee, he knows this knowledge. He understands the position of the soul, he understands the position of the Supreme Lord, and so he can explain it to us very easily. Yeah, so causeless mercy. Causeless means what? We don't deserve such mercy, but because of his own compassion, his own mercy, he's spreading this knowledge of Krishna to everyone and anyone. Not that, oh, because I'm so qualified, I'm receiving. No, what is our qualification? And some devotees were asking Prabhupada, oh, Prabhupada, we heard that due to some pious credit, someone comes to devotional service. Prabhupada said, I am making your pious credit. It's true, Prabhupada is a pure devotee. Out of his compassion, we are getting this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita as it is, in a language that we can understand. Is that okay?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Dehi nityam avadyoyam
Dehi nityam avadyoyam.
dehe sarvasya bharata
Dehe sarvasya bharata.
tasmat sarvani bhutani
Tasmat sarvani bhutani.
na tvam shochitam arhasi.
Natam natvam sochitam arhasi. Should I continue reading or someone else wants to read?
Yeah, anything? Deepika, Auntie Rashmi, y'all want to read? Maybe not. आंटी
हिंदी में
आपको पढ़ना
हिंदी में मेरे को इंग्लिश मेरा प्रोनाउंसिएशन सही नहीं
फिर मेरा फिर गलत नहीं हो जावे इधर क्या बोलते हो
नहीं मैं बोल रही मेरे पास हिंदी बुक है ना मैं हिंदी में पढ़ सकती हूँ इंग्लिश में मेरे को थोड़ा कंफर्टेबल नहीं होता है
ओके
हाँ मुझे
whatever
या मुझे भी चलेगा ओके विद मी
you okay with हिंदी
या परफेक्ट या
ओके पढ़ो आंटी आप हिंदी में पढ़ो
पढ़ूं हिंदी में ओके
पढ़ो
हे भरतवंशी शरीर में रहने वाले का कभी भी वध नहीं किया जा सकता अतः तुम्हें किसी भी जीव के लिए शोक करने की आवश्यकता नहीं है अब भगवान अविकारी आत्मा विषयक अपना उपदेश समाप्त कर रहे हैं अमर आत्मा का अनेक प्रकार से वर्णन करते हुए भगवान कृष्ण ने आत्मा को अमर तथा शरीर को नाशवान सिद्ध किया है। अतः क्षत्रिय होने के नाते अर्जुन को इस भय से कि युद्ध में उसके पितामह भीष्म तथा गुरु द्रोण मर जाएंगे, अपने कर्तव्य से विमुख नहीं होना चाहिए। कृष्ण को प्रमाण मानकर भौतिक देह से भिन्न आत्मा का पृथक अस्तित्व स्वीकार करना ही होगा। यह नहीं कि आत्मा जैसी कोई वस्तु नहीं है या कि जीवन के लक्षण रसायनों की अंतःक्रिया के फलस्वरूप एक विशेष अवस्था में प्रकट होते हैं। यद्यपि आत्मा अमर है, किंतु इसमें हिंसा को प्रोत्साहित नहीं किया जाता। फिर भी युद्ध के समय हिंसा का निषेध नहीं किया जाता, क्योंकि तब इसकी आवश्यकता रहती है। ऐसी आवश्यकता को भगवान की आज्ञा के आधार पर उचित ठहराया जा सकता है, स्वेच्छा से नहीं।
So Krishna is continuing with the same point. See, he's continuing with the same point that the soul is eternal. Why are you grieving for the body? The person is not the body, the person is the soul. So he's saying, give up this lamentation. The soul is different from the material body on the authority of Sri Krishna. And then again, of course, Krishna was saying, if you really don't believe in the soul, then it's just chemicals. So why you're lamenting for the chemicals? Of course, we have to understand we are not just chemicals. We are the soul. And right now we are inside this material body. Again, Prabhupada points out, because we may misuse this verse, saying, oh, anyway, soul is never going to die, or anyway, if we are just chemicals, let me kill anyone I want. No, we can't do that. It's only when it is needed that a proper person can do it. The people who are in charge of protection can do it, not everyone. Otherwise, there are sinful reactions. Swadharmam api chavekshya.
सर्वधर्म अपि च अवेक्ष्य
Na vikampitam arhasi.
न
न
विकपित
विकल्पितम् अर्हसि
Dharmyati yuddhakshreyo anyat.
धर्म्यात् युद्धात् श्रेय
Kshatriyasya na vidyate.
यत्र क्षत्रिय स न विद्यते। क्षत्रिय होने के नाते अपने विशिष्ट धर्म का विचार करते हुए तुम्हें जानना चाहिए कि धर्म के लिए युद्ध करने से बढ़कर तुम्हारे लिए अन्य कोई कार्य नहीं है। इतना तुम्हें संकोच करने की कोई आवश्यकता नहीं है। सामाजिक व्यवस्था के 4 वर्णों में द्वितीय वर्ण उत्तम शासन के लिए है और क्षत्रिय कहलाता है। क्षत का अर्थ है चोट खाया हुआ। जो क्षति से रक्षा करे वह क्षत्रिय कहलाता है। त्रायते रक्षा प्रदान करना। क्षत्रियों को वन में आखेट करने का प्रशिक्षण दिया जाता है। क्षत्रिय जंगल में जाकर शेर को ललकारता है और उससे आमने सामने अपनी तलवार से लड़ता था। शेर की मृत्यु होने पर राजसी ढंग से अंत्येष्टि की जाती थी। आज भी जयपुर रियासत के क्षत्रिय राजा इस प्रथा का पालन करते हैं। क्षत्रियों को विशेष रूप से ललकारने तथा मारने की शिक्षा दी जाती है, क्योंकि कभी कभी धार्मिक हिंसा अनिवार्य होती है। इसलिए क्षत्रियों को सीधे संन्यास आश्रम ग्रहण करने का विधान नहीं है। राजनीति में अहिंसा चाल हो सकती है, किंतु यह कभी भी कारण या सिद्धांत नहीं रही है। धार्मिक संहिताओं में उल्लेख मिलता है। शिल्पा आप पढ़ो ना ये।
Okay. Ahaveshu mithyo anyonyam jigam shanto mahishita yuddhamana param shaktya swargam yanti aparan mukha. yagyeshu pashavo brahman hanyante satatam dvije samskrita kila mantrescha te api swargam avapanovan.
युद्ध में विरोधी ईर्ष्यालु राजा से संघर्ष करते हुए मरने वाले राजा या क्षत्रिय को मृत्यु के अनंतर वे ही उच्च लोक प्राप्त होते हैं, जिनकी प्राप्ति यज्ञ अग्नि में मारे गए पशुओं की होती है। अतः धर्म के लिए युद्ध भूमि में वध करना तथा यज्ञ अग्नि के लिए पशुओं का वध करना हिंसा कार्य नहीं माना जाता, क्योंकि इसमें निहित धर्म के कारण प्रत्येक व्यक्ति को लाभ पहुंचता है और यज्ञ में बलि दिए गए पशु को एक स्वरूप से दूसरे में बिना विकास प्रक्रिया के ही तुरंत मनुष्य का जीवन प्राप्त हो जाता है। इसी तरह युद्ध भूमि में मारे गए क्षत्रिय यज्ञ संपन्न करने वाले ब्राह्मणों को प्राप्त होने वाले स्वर्ग लोक में जाते हैं। सर्वधर्म दो प्रकार का होता है। जब तक मनुष्य मुक्त नहीं हो जाता, तब तक मुक्ति प्राप्त करने के लिए धर्म के अनुसार शरीर विशेष के कर्तव्य करने होते हैं। जब वह मुक्त हो जाता है तो उसको विशेष कर्तव्य या धर्म स्वधर्म आध्यात्मिक हो जाता है और देहात्म बुद्धि में नहीं रहता। जब तक देहात्म बुद्धि है, तब तक ब्राह्मणों तथा क्षत्रियों के लिए स्वधर्म पालन अनिवार्य होता है। स्वधर्म का विधान भगवान द्वारा होता है, जिसका स्पष्टीकरण चतुर्थ अध्याय में किया जाएगा। शारीरिक स्तर पर स्वधर्म को वर्णाश्रम धर्म अथवा आध्यात्मिक बोध का प्रथम सोपान कहते हैं। वर्णाश्रम धर्म अर्थात प्राप्त शरीर के विशिष्ट गुणों पर आधारित स्वधर्म की अवस्था से मानवीय सभ्यता का शुभारंभ होता है। वर्णाश्रम धर्म के अनुसार किसी कार्य क्षेत्र में स्वधर्म का निर्वाह करने से जीवन के उच्चतर पद को प्राप्त किया जा सकता है।
So then, Krishna is saying that you are a Kshatriya. Now, what does a Kshatriya mean? We just read it in the first paragraph. What's the meaning of Kshatriya? Kshat means
one who gives protection from harm.
yeah. That's right. Thank you. So it's the duty of the Kshatriya to protect. That's why they are called. So now if they have to protect, they need training. So then for training, they will sometimes kill the animals, and so they're not bound by sinful reaction because they're not unnecessary. They're training so they can do their duty of protecting their citizens. Yeah. So they are not required to do the duty of Brahmana, offering sacrifice, all that. They just simply have to do their duty of protection. This Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, the society, Varna, Sharma society, is designed by Krishna. Of course, now in Kali Yuga, we do not have this proper divisions of the Varna, Sharma society. But because it is eternal, some of us do have Brahmanical qualities, more inclined to study, teach. Some are more inclined to administration, leadership. That's Kshatriyas then. Some are more inclined to business, trade, banking, agriculture, then that's Vaishya. And then there's a Shudra who's serving the other sections. So just as a Kshatriya does not get sinful reactions when he's fighting because he's protecting his citizens, similarly, in earlier ages, when there were fire sacrifices were permitted, the Brahmanas, by chanting the mantra, they were able to do the animal sacrifice, where the animal would be sacrificed, but not for killing, not for eating, to test how the Brahmana is qualified in speaking the mantra, and the animal would be benefited, that he would get either a younger body of the same species or he could become a human being. So it is a gain for both, for the Brahmanas to practice on their mantras and for the animal to get better bodies, not to kill them or to eat them. No. And so in this way, the Brahmanas also would not be getting sinful reaction. They're just simply doing their duty. Swadharma. Swadharma. What does Swadharma mean? The duty that we are supposed to do. Now, there are two kinds. Why are they being said two kinds? One is because we are in this material body, we are on the material platform, we are thinking, this is my name, this is my position, this is my family, my children, my wife, my husband, my parents, my country, my society. So we have a duty to perform in that position. That's based on the Varna Sharma position that we have. And another duty. Now we may think, okay, after liberation means it's all Om Shanti Shanti, I don't have to do anything. No, one's real duty begins from the point of liberation. One's real activity begins from liberation. Because then the clear understanding is, I'm a spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna. So then, if one understands I'm a spirit soul, then all the activities he does is for the pleasure of Krishna. When he understands that I'm part and parcel of Krishna. So then all the activities are spiritual. Sure, he may be inside the body. He may use the body to do these activities, but because his consciousness is purified, he's understood his position as eternal part and parcel of Krishna. His activities are done with that consciousness. So his activities are also spiritual. They are the real duties of every living entity. That's why it's called Swadharma. So such a person is called Jivan Mukta. He may be inside the body and yet he's liberated. He's not under the modes of nature. He's completely understood his position. So one does not have to wait to die to get liberated. One can also get liberation while still being inside the body. And Lord Chaitanya gave us this easiest method, chanting Hare Krishna. When we begin to hear and chant gradually, our real position, we will be able to realize it. We will be able to understand this knowledge. Is that okay?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
And Krishna, he keeps saying, do your duty, specific duty. Why? So that our consciousness is able, it can evolve, it can be elevated. So like we are hearing this same instruction Prithu Maharaj is giving to his citizens in Srimad Bhagavatam. He's keeping on telling his citizens, do your occupational duty for the satisfaction of Krishna, for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. Because just doing the duties is not sufficient. Bhagavatam says, what will you gain if you just do your duty? Nothing. But the duties have to be done for the satisfaction of Krishna. Keeping that in mind, then it gives us elevation in our consciousness, helps us to leave this material world. Yadra chaya chopapanam
Yadrishcha chaya cha upapannam
Vargadvaram apavratam
Swargadvaram aparvatam
Sukhina Kshatriya Partha
Sukhina Kshatriya Partha
Nabhante Yuddham Idrisham.
Labhante Yudham Idrasam.
हे पार्थ, वे क्षत्रिय सुखी हैं से युद्ध के अवसर अपने आप प्राप्त होते हैं, जिससे उनके लिए स्वर्ग लोक के द्वार खुल जाते हैं। विश्व के परम गुरु भगवान कृष्ण अर्जुन की इस प्रवृत्ति की भर्त्सना करते हैं, जब वह कहता कि उसे यह युद्ध में कुछ भी तो लाभ नहीं दिख रहा है, इससे नरक में शाश्वत वास करना होगा। अर्जुन द्वारा ऐसे वक्तव्य केवल अज्ञानजन्य थे। वह अपने स्वधर्म के आचरण में अहिंसक बनना चाह रहा था, किंतु एक क्षत्रिय के लिए युद्ध भूमि में स्थित होकर इस प्रकार अहिंसक बनना मूर्खों का दर्शन है। पराशर स्मृति में व्यासदेव के पिता पराशर ने कहा है,
क्षत्रियो हि प्रजा रक्षन् शस्त्र पाणि प्रदन्तयन् निर्जित्य परासैन्यादि क्षितिं धर्मेण पालयेत्।
क्षत्रिय का धर्म है कि वह सभी क्लेशों से नागरिकों की रक्षा करे, इसलिए उसे शांति तथा व्यवस्था बनाए रखने के लिए हिंसा करनी पड़ती है। अतः उसे शत्रु राजाओं के सैनिकों को जीत कर धर्म पूर्वक संसार का राज्य करना चाहिए। यदि सभी पक्षों पर विचार करें तो अर्जुन को युद्ध से विमुख होने का कोई कारण नहीं था। यदि वह शत्रुओं को जीतता है तो राज्य भोग करेगा, और यदि वह युद्ध भूमि में मरता है तो उसे स्वर्ग को जाएगा, जिसके द्वार उसके लिए खुले हुए हैं। दोनों ही तरह युद्ध करने से उसे लाभ होगा।
Krishna is continuing to explain to Arjuna that, all the Kshatriyas who die on the battlefield, they go on to the heavenly planets because they're dying a glorious death. They are dying while doing their duty, which is to protect. So their destination, what they get in return, is like, we do something good, we get a bonus. So similarly here, the Kshatriyas, they're dying, giving up their life for protecting others, doing their duty, so they get elevation to the heavenly planets. And so Krishna is saying not that you're going to go to hell by doing your duty. In fact, you're going to go to heavenly planets by doing your duty. And in fact, if you don't do your duty, then you're going to go to hell. This is what Krishna is trying to explain to Arjuna. And if you don't die, anyways, you'll have a full kingdom to enjoy, no? So why aren't you fighting? In either case, if you fight, in either case, if you lose, if you die, you'll go to heaven. And if you win, you'll have a great kingdom to enjoy. So what's your problem? You should fight. And in fact, if you don't fight, you will get sinful reactions. So this is the duty, because this is the duty of the Kshatriyas. It's not our duty. We're not Kshatriyas to be, fighting a war. But the Kshatriyas who have these specific qualities and who are trained for it, it's for them. But the idea is, Krishna is saying to each of us through Arjuna, do your duty. Don't not do your duty, whatever it may be. We each may have our own specific duties. So Krishna is saying, do your duty for my satisfaction. Whatever it may be, offer the results to me, he says to Arjuna. We will hear it soon. Atha chetvam imam dharmyam.
अथ चेतत्वं
तं धर्म्यं
Sangramam na karishyasi.
संग्रामं न करिष्यसि
शंसि
Tata swadharmam kirtim cha.
ततः
ततः
स्वधर्मं
स्वधर्मं कीर्तिं च
च
Hitva papam avapsyasi.
हित्वा पापं
पापम् अवाप्स्यसि।
किंतु यदि तुम युद्ध को करने के सर्वधर्म को संपन्न नहीं करते हो तो तुम्हें निश्चित रूप से अपने कर्तव्य की उपेक्षा करने का पाप लगेगा, और तुम योद्धा के रूप में भी अपना यश खो दोगे। अर्जुन विख्यात योद्धा था। उसने शिव आदि अनेक देवताओं से युद्ध करके यश अर्जित किया था। शिकारी के वेश में शिव जी से युद्ध करके तथा उन्हें हराकर अर्जुन ने उन्हें प्रसन्न किया था, और वर के रूप में पशुपास्त्र अस्त्र प्राप्त किया था। सभी लोग जानते थे कि वह एक महान योद्धा है। स्वयं द्रोणाचार्य ने भी उसे आशीष दिया था और एक विशेष शस्त्र प्रदान किया था जिससे वह अपने गुरु का भी वध कर सकता था। इस प्रकार वह अपने धर्मपिता स्वर्ग के राजा इंद्र समेत अनेक अधिकारियों से अनेक युद्धों के प्रमाण पत्र प्राप्त कर चुका था। किंतु यदि वह इस समय युद्ध का परित्याग करता है तो वह न केवल क्षत्रिय धर्म की उपेक्षा का दोषी होगा अपितु उसके यश की भी हानि होगी और वह नर्क जाने के लिए अपना मार्ग तैयार कर लेगा। दूसरे शब्दों में वह युद्ध करने से नहीं अपितु युद्ध से पलायन करने के कारण नर्क का भागी होगा।
Krishna is making him understand that, you're famous as a great warrior. You're going to lose your fame. What are people going to say? So you're not only going to not only lose your fame if you don't fight, you're renowned as a great fighter, fighting with Lord Shiva, going up to the heavenly kingdoms, and so you're going to lose all that fame if you're going to give up. People are not going to think, oh, you're so kind-hearted, you're so compassionate, that's why you didn't fight. People will think that you got scared and that's the reason you didn't fight. So not only will you lose your fame, but you'll also get sinful reactions. So it's in your benefit that you fight, So Krishna is encouraging Arjuna to do his duty, do karma yoga, do the duty for the satisfaction of Krishna. This is what he's encouraging all of us to do. Come up to the level at least of karma yoga, do our duty, whatever is our duty, for the satisfaction of Krishna. Krishna does not encourage non-activity. No, he's in fact saying, do whatever you need to do, but do it for my satisfaction. So are there any questions or comments?
No questions.
So we'll stop here for today. Thank you so much for listening in and joining in. Shla Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.